it's Ina the Moderator. Happy New Year, everyone! And for our first video of 2022, I am super excited to share with you my goals, my reading resolutions for the year. So I did a version of this video last year, and on the next video we'll be talking about my progress and how I was able to perform against those 21 resolutions I had for 2021. Now, I noticed that because I had so many goals set, it was hard for me to follow through them. I actually kind of forgot about them as the year went on. So this year, I'll just be settling with 12 reading resolutions for 2022. I'll be sharing each one of them with you, and it might be inspiring to you guys as well. But yeah, there's no pressure. I mean, most of my goals are very how do you call this, measurable or driven by numbers, but it doesn't have to it doesn't mean that you have to have number driven goals as well. It's what works with my logical mind. I'm highly reliant on things I can measure and all that, so that's why I do this kind of goals. But anyway, so let's start. For this year, I am sticking with my goal of reading 104 books throughout the year. So this has been my goal for the past 3 to 4 years, if I'm not mistaken, and it's because I think it's my most doable goal to read 2 books in a week, and that translates to 104 for the year. So yeah, that's the reason why I always go for that number. And my goal number 2 is to reach 80% NETGALLEY ratio. So NETGALLEY, if you're unfamiliar with it, it's a book reviewing website wherein publishers have advanced copies of books for that readers or reviewers can choose from and apply for. And when you get access to these books, you have to review them and help promote and market the books in the community. And when I started with NETGALLEY, I didn't know that you can get approved right away, so I did a requesting spree in 2019, which I'm still paying for until today. I haven't really done much progress on it last year because I had my reading slump, and I was also able to read a lot of my NETGALLEY arcs but haven't reviewed them yet, which is something I need to work on as well this year. So as of the 3rd of January, my feedback ratio is at 52%, which means out of the 227 books I've been given access to in NETGALLEY, I only have reviewed 119 of them, which is very, very low. And their recommended ratio is 80%, which is why we're aiming for that this year, hopefully, fingers crossed. And yeah, just so you know, I can finally get on track with advanced releases, new releases, anticipated releases, and all of that. So there. The next 3 goals are focused on genres I don't usually enjoy or genres I don't have much exposure to and I want to pursue. So here I have my goal of reading 5 fantasy books. So I have a lot of fantasy books here on my shelf, but I don't always get to read them. Admittedly, they are behind my book of the month shelf, so I don't also see them regularly. I don't get reminded that I must read them, which means I forget about them totally if I'm not joining readathons and all of that. So but since I've been planning to read a few series this year, and some of those are fantasy books, I am very hopeful that I would actually get to finish 5 fantasy books in 2022. The next goal number 4, is to read 5 nonfiction books. I'm not a fan of nonfiction, especially if it's self-help, but in the past few years, I've read a handful of nonfiction books, usually memoirs, and those things I actually did enjoy. And I also did enjoy some. I'm also interested as well in reading some true crime. So this year, the goal is to read 5 nonfiction books anytime within the year. So I don't know technically which like subgenre of nonfiction I would be reading. So if you do have suggestions, please let me know in the comments. And lastly, my goal is to I have another one, sorry. So the third one I want to experience is to read 5 science fiction books. What 2021 reminded me is how much I used to love science fiction. So this year I'm hoping to go beyond 4. That's what I was able to read last year, and at least try to hit 5 science fiction books. So again, if you have recommendations on sci-fi reads, then please let me know in the comments. And lastly, this is a genre I haven't read since forever. I'm actually unsure if I ever did read a horror book. So for this year, I want to read 5 horror books just to see if I can handle them. Like I usually lean towards mysteries and thrillers, but there's something different about horror. I mean, I love watching horror movies, but I don't know how would that translate to reading a horror book. Like, does Goosebumps count as a horror book? And I think that's something I read when I was still a teen. So yeah, if you have horror book recommendations, I would also love to hear about them, and especially those that really creeped you out. Please let me know in the comments. So my 7th reading resolution for 2022 is to read 24 books by Asian authors. One of the things that I really want to do is to read more diversely on my shelf. I mean, not just on race, but other types of diversity as well. And I really want to explore that, and as much as I can, I try to find diversity in what I read. But for my ultimate goal, it's always to read more Asian authors, read more works by Asian authors, especially with fantasy, because that's when I have a glimpse of their like folklore, their culture, their histories. I loved knowing more about the different countries here in Asia, considering how Asia is really a vast, I mean, it has so many cultures. Like Southeast Asia can be so different from East Asia or the Middle East. So yeah, it's something I would really want to explore. And I think having the goal of reading 24 books by Asian authors for the year, which is like half of my yearly, I mean, a quarter of my reading goal, is like enough. But if chances permit for me to surpass that, then of course I would be really happy about it. So there. Goal number 8 is to review a book immediately after reading. When I entered this community, I started as a avid Goodreads user. I loved emotionally reviewing books, like not really objective, not really critical book reviews, but just, you know, my thoughts as a reader, as a consumer about books. And then eventually, like, I was able to explore the different communities here. And I kind of put book reviewing on the back burner, and I was a little sad, like, that, for example, my book blog has been stagnant for like over half a year already, and I think it's time to relaunch my book blog, which is like primarily meant for book reviews, as well as my Goodreads account, and use it as well for my Bookstagram, which I haven't been using as well. So maybe one thing that made me stop reviewing books is um, changing my habit before, which was immediately reviewing after I read. So for this year, my target is, since I'm not aiming for like 200 books like the previous years, my previous reading was actually almost like 190 books, and that overwhelmed me. And since I'm planning to take it slow this year, the real target is to really review the book, like after reading the book. So in line with that goal, I also have the goal to post at least one backlist review per week. I haven't been reviewing the books I've read for quite a while now, and it's making me a little sad. So for instance, right now, for the arcs I've already read 13 arcs that I haven't reviewed yet, and I think that's very, very unfair, and I should work on it right away. So there, and in total, I think I have 114 arcs left to read. I mean, like I have 100 arcs to read and review as well, and I've also read, like, for the past year alone, I have 100 books I haven't been reviewing. So yeah, I know it's like not really my job to do it. It's just something I do as a hobby, and there's no one forcing me to do it anyway. But I would really, really love to like give life again to my reviewing platforms, and I think doing like a backlist review, a single backlist review a week would like give me 52 reviews at the end of the year, which is like very, very helpful for my site as well as those authors whose works I have enjoyed. So there. Now for my other bookish social media, I've mentioned that I've been neglecting my Bookstagram, and it's one of my favorite platforms where I started. I really loved being creative on the books that I have, and I think now's the time to get back on the platform. So my target for this year 2022 is like to ease onto it, since I'm really not the type of person to like schedule a day for photo shoots and like have reserved Bookstagram photos. So yeah, at least once a week would like give life back to my Bookstagram account. And I think aside from posting once a week, I would also want to be more active there. So maybe spending a few minutes of each day engaging with other creators and appreciating their work would be great. And I also am planning to do the same on BOOKTOK. So my target for 2022 is to also post on BOOKTOK at least once a week. Admittedly, I am having trouble in doing book talks, as you know, I'm quite talkative, and I really do I don't know, I'm not sure if I am creative enough to sustain like a book talk account, but I'm hoping to at least do a post a week, and again spend a few minutes of each day engaging with amazing content done by our book talk creators, especially the Filipino book talkers who are very, very creative. So there. And the last reading resolution I have for 2022 is to create more reading vlogs. So you know that I'm the type of creator who is more into sit-down videos where I just chat with you, because I'm not really the best at editing, and my life is pretty boring since we are working from home and I'm a writer by profession. So that's the only thing I do, is to spend time looking at my laptop and like trying to weave words together. Nothing much is happening in my life. But yeah, I'm when I tried doing a few vlogs over last year, I kind of enjoyed looking at them and like seeing my life during those months. So that's my resolution for this year, to create weekly reading vlogs, even though they can be as short as 3 minutes or as long as 20 minutes. Just like trying to share with you a few minutes of each day would be amazing. So I'm hoping that you'll love watching them as much as I would love creating them. So there, those are all my reading resolutions for 2022. Please let me know, what are your resolutions? What are you planning for the year? And yeah, let's push each other to stick to our goals, and hopefully all of us will have amazing reading years and amazing years on our bookish communities. So there, thank you so much for watching this video. May you always be in the mood for reading, and see you on the next one. Bye!